Amen. That is for real. You definitely need both. You do. And I feel like not to like bash on feminism or anything, not like I'm against feminism. I'm like glad that we have our rights and that we can vote because like literally if you think about it, it wasn't that long ago that we like literally had no say, right? So like I feel like since that movement, like because we want to be like um independent and not have to necessarily like depend on somebody else because apparently that's a bad thing to be able to depend on your life partner for some reason. But I feel like what was I saying? um, what the hell was I saying? What the hell? I lost my like whole thought process. Oh yeah, I feel like modern day feminism has just like pushed women to have this idea that like we have to work and like it's bad to want to stay at home and it's bad to want to depend on men and it's bad to like want to stay home even if you don't have kids if you just want to be simply a homemaker because that's the thing you can do. I feel like other women, other men, just the younger generation really just looks down upon that because traditional values are now seen as bad. But I am honestly a huge believer in traditional values. I think that there was once a lot of toxicity in traditional values, but I think that you can have traditional values and not carry on the negativity and like the abuse and all of that. I think that a lot of the morals that go along with traditional family values are awesome. Modern day feminism is trash. That is right. That's correct. Yeah, I agree with that. But I feel like it's just like turned into this thing where it's like women have to work and women have to be dependent and all of this. But no, there are still women who very much enjoy being homemakers and stay at home moms. I am one of them. I am a stay at home mom. And you know what's crazy? Okay, so before I became like a stay-at-home mom, before I even got pregnant, before I was introduced to my husband, before I started dating him, I was very much like I was a liberal, I was feminist, I was fighting for rights, I was BLM, I was all this, I was on it, I was being an activist for things that I didn't even fully understand just because like it was what everybody my age was doing and I wanted to fit in, you know what I'm saying? So as I got older and I had kids and stuff like that, um, I deal with trolls all the time. It really don't bother me. Sometimes I answer them because I think it's fun. Sometimes I bullshit. But anyway, I was way different than I am now. And even when I first started having kids, I was still very pro public school. I really had different ideas about parenting than I do now. Media and actually doing my own research and kind of like stepping out of my like age group's thinking, the more like I kind of joined the real world and understood that things are not always as they seem. um, so now I am very pro stay at home mom. Also, I came from like a very broken family. I came from addicts and alcoholics. I am also adopted, so I had like the feeling of like, oh wow, my mom never wanted me, blah blah blah. But anyway, because of that, I never really had like an idea of what like a family should be and what a family should look like and what family morals should be and what a traditional family actually looks like. So when I joined my husband's family, who has a very strong family foundation, they're very traditional, very conservative. That was my first actual glimpse of like how like an actual family should function. And I kind of fell in love with that. I fell in love with the feeling of being like a family unit. Um, so when I married my husband and 3 kids later, just growing more into those traditional values and just really looking at the world, really falling in love with like God. I don't know if like religion is like y'all's thing, but I am a Christian. So just like making that whole growth has really like changed my whole perspective on everything. I think that being a stay-at-home mom is awesome, when before I would have been like, wow, like you're trash, go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like I am way more pro homeschool. I would never send my kids to public school, whereas before I would have been like, homeschool kids are weird and antisocial. Just because like that's not what I knew. I knew that kids grew up and went to school. I saw my mom work all the time because my dad went to jail and he was just like too messed up on drugs to like do anything. So like my idea was that women are supposed to like go and work, and being there with your kids and like watching them grow, feeding them information, planting the seeds of God like in them, like that was not important to me. Where now it is so important to me. Oh, 100%. I think why I am so pro homeschool is because of that reason, that kids are so easily swayed. I don't, again, know how people in this live feel about it, but um, I really am not for the whole gender exploration thing in public schools. I think that should be a parent-taught thing. I think that should be an at-home thing that's very private. And I think because that younger kids, kids who are not fully aware of the world around them, to be taught those things from adults who are not their parents, who may not always have the best intentions, leaves a very, very big opening for people to groom them. I think that's very scary. I mean, even when it comes to like speaking like sex education and stuff like that, to leave that up to a stranger in the public school system really scares me, because what if they're not teaching them correct sex education when the public school system is definitely not even teaching it in the first place? We're not teaching how to properly use contraceptives. We're not properly teaching consequences. We're not properly like teaching consent and all of that, and we're running into a whole bunch of issues and we wonder fucking why. Like, you know, like it all starts with what we feed our kids when they're younger, and we need to be more careful. I mean, I posted that video about not giving my kids 100% privacy and people lost their shit. These are kids given devices that open them up to the whole entire world with no filters, with no barriers. They can give their location to creepy people. They can go meet creepy people. And these parents are not paying the fuck attention. Why are you not paying the fuck attention? These are your children. These are your children. And to not pay attention, you might as well not give a fuck. To see the things that happen, I'm getting emotional, but to see the things that happen again and again and again on the TV screen, and to not pay attention to your kids, just give them a device and say, go have fun, go explore everything without me holding your hand. I mean, and when it comes to privacy, I say not giving 100% privacy, because I do understand that my kids have their own lives. My kids are their own people. My kids are going to grow up one day and they're going to choose their own paths. They're going to make their own decisions. But as a mom, my job is to sit there and hold their hands and show them how to make those correct decisions, so that later on in their lives, I do not have to worry about them. So that later on in life, I can say, I know for a fact I gave them every single tool to navigate through every single situation and be okay with them sending them out into the world and not worrying about it. So, I don't know. That's just how I feel about on some certain topics. I don't even know how I got there. I went on a rant. I got emotional. But as you can see, parenting has become so important to me. The way that I parent my kids, it's important for me to always see myself grow as a parent, to always grow as a parent, to always better myself. I feel like when parents stop trying to better themselves and stop looking at situations and trying to figure out how they could have handled it differently, or even going back to their children later in life and saying, hey, I'm really sorry, I messed up in this situation. I am just very sorry from the bottom of my heart. I feel like when parents stop doing that is when relationships get fucked. Yes, I am. I actually just turned 23. Most people my age don't think the way I do. I've actually lost a whole ton of friends over sharing my controversial opinions over TikTok. Actually, like 3 of my very closest friends, I lost them, and I was like, what the hell? Because, we see this trend in our generation over and over again that if we do not have the same exact beliefs, then we obviously can't be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't just be friends and not discuss those.